will be making a statement of financial position. Let's go ahead and see what's the question is. Basically, we will be doing the same question as we did for the income statement. Since we know that we cannot make a statement of financial position without an income statement. So we prepared an income statement already, and we calculated the net profit. Our net profit was 21,858. For the first thing we write is basically we give the heading of the business name. You write the business name, you write the name of the report, that statement of financial position, and that's for the year. Which year are you doing it for? So you have to clearly mention for the year ended and the date. Remember, if you see the question, it requires you to prepare a statement of financial position at 31st December 2006. Now, if you see here, I can just copy my date from the question from here and just put it in my title box. So clearly it's for A. Moore, it's a statement of financial position, and then for the year ended 31st December 2006. Now here there is a small mistake. When we are making an income statement, we write for the year, but when we are making a statement of financial position, we just need to write at 31st December 2006. Okay. The first thing that we will be looking for will be the non-current assets. By the way, there's no need of two columns. You can, if you want to make a statement of financial position, you can only use one column. So the first thing is non-current assets. We will try to look for the non-current assets in our question. So we have some examples: premises, motor vehicles. Let's see what are the non-current assets here in our question.
If you carefully look at the trial balance, you will see, you will find two non-current assets. Number one, premises, and then motor vehicles. The value of premises is 95,420, and the the motor vehicles is 16,594. We need to record these non-current assets and total them. The next step is to write current assets.
The first thing that we can write under current assets is the stock, the closing stock. It's given there. It will always be given after the trial balance. For now, this is 12,408. I'll quickly go to my answer sheet. I'll write closing stock. That's 12,408. The next thing is accounts receivables or debtors, or we can also call it trade receivables. I'm gonna see how much is the value of my debtors. It's clearly 26,740. I'll go back to my answer sheet, write debtors, and write 26,740. Please note that I'm using only one column, so there is no confusion of two or one columns here. We are making it simple. After debtors, I will go to my question again and see what should be my next current asset. The sequence in my mind is that I should write cash at bank next. My cash in bank is 16,519. I'll go back to my answer sheet, write 16,519. Please note that this sequence is in my mind, is on my fingertips. Once you can memorize it to make it easy for you. It's just like a checklist. Whenever you give the heading current assets, the first thing that should come to your mind is this closing stock, then the debtors, then go back and look for the debtors. Then the third thing that should come to your mind is cash at bank. Go to your question, look for cash at bank. So once you remember or memorize these, or you can also memorize through practice, once you know all these current assets clearly and their sequence, you can quickly solve the question. It will increase your speed. So if I'm here at this point, I know that the next thing I have to write is cash in hand. So I don't know whether in my question, whether I have cash in hand or not, but still I'll go back and I'll check. So I'm going back here, I will check that my cash in hand is 342. It's given clearly. So that's my cash in hand. Going back to the answer sheet, recording cash in hand. Now, these are the four possibilities of current assets so far at this level till chapter 8. Now I know that everything is complete. I don't have to go and look again. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to total current assets. My current assets are 56,009. So I've just totaled these four numbers. So this is the total of current assets, and this is the total of non-current assets. What is the last thing in this first section of the balance sheet? I will be totaling all of my assets. So I don't need to start from here. Maybe I will duplicate. I will just take the totals, this one and this one, this one and this one. So if I total these two, if I add these two numbers, I will get the figure for total assets. My total assets are 168,023. So clearly I have completed the first section of my statement of financial position. Please note that in order to go to the next section, we don't have to go to a new page. We can continue on the same page. But since I don't have space, I will be going to the next slide. To sum up, first we list down the non-current assets, total them, then we list down all the current assets, total them, and then we find out what's the value of the total assets. The next step is, the next section is about capital and liabilities. First of all, we will find out the value of our capital, and then we will move to the liabilities section. And then as the heading says, we have to total the capital and liabilities. So let's just first find out the capital. In order to find out capital, I need opening capital first. So I'll go back and check what's my opening capital is. Let's see. Okay, remember, and please always remember that capital, the number, the figure that is in the balance, in the trial balance, will be considered as opening capital. This will be the only number in regards to the capital in our question. And inshallah, it will always be given unless this is the first year of business. Okay, here it's 138,066. I'll go back to my answer sheet. I can put its value, copy paste, 138,066. What's my next thing? The next item is, the next step is, I either add net profit, this is to be added, or if there's a loss, I will minus that. So since there was a net profit, if you remember, in our income statement, we calculated and we found out that we had made a profit. So we need that number. We have to go back to our income statement now. This was our income statement that we prepared that day, and remember, we calculated the profit as 21,858. So adding the profit, and the next step is I will have to minus the drawings. I'll go back to my trial balance and see where are my drawings. These are my drawings, 8,425. Always look for drawings here as well. Sometimes they give additional drawings here. We have to add them. Since there is nothing here, I'll just copy this number and paste it in my answer sheet. So again, it's a formula, like I told you before, that we have to remember this. I know that the capital comes first, then I need to add net profit or subtract net loss, then I need to less drawings. These are my steps. I follow my steps. This increases my speed of responding to the question. Okay, once we do these calculations, we will get the closing figure, which is the capital at the end of the year. This is the investment at the end of this year. What is the capital? It will be 138,66 plus 21,858 minus 8,425. So answer will be 151,679. That's my capital section. This is the closing investment. Clearly, I made a profit. This increased my investment. But then I took out something for my personal use. This decreased my investment. And my final investment, which is in the business, is this. Okay. Moving to the liabilities section. First, I will write non-current liabilities. Usually, it's a loan. If you see a loan in your question, you can write it straight away. Since our question, there is no loan, I'll just put a 0. If you are solving this question, you don't even have to write this. Okay, but for your understanding, I'm writing this so that you can remember. This is one of the possibilities, one of the things that we have to consider while making this statement. The next thing is current liabilities. In current liabilities, usually we will have to look for trade payables or creditors. These are our suppliers. We have to pay them within less than 1 year. So let's go ahead and see if we have any trade payables. So clearly, if you see in your question, we have creditors here, and the value is 16,524. I'll go back to my answer sheet. I'll write 16,524 here. So now, since my everything is complete, my capital figure is with me. The non-current liabilities, they are 0. Current liabilities is 16,524. Now, what I need to do is I just need to total. Look at the heading here, capital and liability. So I will be totaling these three things. Number 1, the capital. Number 2, the non-current liabilities. And number 3, the current liabilities. I will give a clear heading of total of capital and liabilities. Total these amounts, which means this and this for now. The amount will be 168,023. So this is the end of my statement of financial position. As a check, I'll go back to my previous section and see if this matches with the value of the assets. So let's go back and see. If you go back, you see the value of total assets, it's again the same. So now this means that our balance sheet is 100% correct. There is no error. Assets are equal to the total of capital and liabilities. This